Lena, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. I just want to make sure it all works.
Yep, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Are you presenting tonight?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. By the way, you did a good, oh, Jackson, you want to say hi?
Hey, Lena, it's Jackson.
Hey, Jackson.
Thank you. Yes.
And Robin and Chuck.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
You did a great job on the one last week, the original zoning.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was a quick one. It was like not even 10 minutes.
I know a couple of our client representatives didn't get on in time. They're like, where are you? We're like, it's us. It's awesome. All right, I'm going to go back on no video mute.
Me too. Yep.
Hey, Lena.
Yep.
I just got a notice that John Beal started another meeting.
I saw that too. I think he might have forgotten that it's on Zoom, so I'm gonna message him.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's public hearing. My name is John Urino. I'm the zoning examiner for the city of Tucson. I conduct rezoning hearings on behalf of the mayor and council and make findings of fact, which I put into a written report along with my recommendation, which I then send along to mayor and council for their consideration and for their final decision. We have one case on the docket tonight. It's case C9-2201. Palomar Edition, 22nd and Alvernon. Ms. Perrell, would you present the staff report, please?
Yes. This is a request by Robin. Oh, can you hear me now?
Oh, you're good. Thanks.
Okay. This is a request by Robin Large and Carrie Sylvan of Lazarius and Sylvan PC on behalf of the developer applicant CVP 22nd Frontage LLC to rezone approximately 0.68 acres from 03 and R2 to C2 zoning. The applicant is proposing to convert the 3 existing parcels into 2 parcels. The rezoning site is comprised of vacant land along East 22nd Street near the northeast corner of Alvernon Way and East 22nd Street. The preliminary development plan shows a new 1,412 square foot drive-through lube and oil facility with an automotive minor service and repair use, as well as a 1,800 square foot retail office building and required parking, screening, and landscaping. The lube and oil facility will have 3 drive-through lanes. The automotive use building, as well as the proposed office retail building, conforms to C1 standards, except for the mode of minor service repair use, which is why the applicant is requesting a rezoning to C2. Plan Tucson and the Alvernon Broadway area plan provide policy direction for this rezoning site. It should be noted that this site was part of a plan amendment process recently. The plan amendment request was to amend the Alvernon and Broadway area concept land use map located along 22nd Street, just east of the intersection of Alvernon Way. The request was to change the designation of the 3 subject parcels tonight from a low density residential designation to commercial office high density residential designation. And on December 3rd, 2019, Mayor and Council voted 7-0 to approve the resolution and amend the Alvernon Broadway area plan. The proposed rezoning is consistent with and supported by policy direction provided in Plan Tucson and the Alvernon Broadway area plan. Subject to compliance with the preliminary conditions, approval of the requested rezoning is appropriate. And as of this hearing, there has been 1 protest as well as 1 approval. The approval was received later this afternoon and was forwarded to the zoning examiner. And for the record, the approval is from Patrick DiConcini, who owns the Church's Chicken at 3970 East 22nd Street.
Thank you, Ms. Perrell. Would the applicant like to be heard?
Good evening, Mr. Urino. Carrie Sylvan with Lazarus and Sylvan, and I want to introduce some of the folks who are here, and I will share my screen and just point out a couple of things. I'll try not to repeat what staff said. So with me in the room is Robin Large, Senior Land Planner with our office, Jackson Cassidy, who's also a land planner in the office, Chuck Martin with Rick Engineering. So if you have any engineering questions, he's the guy. Braden, who just turned his camera on, is with the development company working on the project. And then we also have Zach Holland with Durbin Development as well. So should you have any questions, we should have an appropriate team to be able to answer. Sorry, excuse me, Zach Holland is with Durbin Development, who's helping with the lube and oil project. So we have a full team. If you have any questions, we should be able to answer any of them. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So really quickly, staff already mentioned this. This is 3 parcels. So Braden's company, Coal Valley Partners, came in and actually bought what is now the corner, what is now the Dutch Brothers Coffee, and these 3 parcels, developed the Dutch Brothers, and at the same time did the plan amendment staff referred to in 2019 to allow these 3 parcels to be consolidated and developed for commercial office and high density residential. It's currently zoned O3 and R2 and C1 on the corner. The plan amendment, staff already acknowledged it was done in 2019. The idea was to open this up for commercial development. It was intended to have cross access and does have cross access with the Dutch Brothers. And so this is the next step, which is the rezoning for the project. We are requesting it be rezoned to C2. We're really meeting all of the development standards of C1 zoning. The C2 zoning is what's required in the code for the oil and lube use. So just to orient you to the site plan, what we've done is we've located, it's about 30,000 square feet. The automotive service is over on the western side of the property. It's 3 bays and they are oriented to enter and exit. So the openings are east-west, not north-south, and that's to protect as well from the neighbors to the north. It's also pushed a little bit closer to 22nd Street. As we said in our neighborhood meeting, the hours of operation for this use is 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. with the exception of Sundays, which is 9 to 5. This particular use is relatively low noise. The air compressor is really the only thing that has any noise associated with it, and it's in the shop located in a closed room. All other work is performed by hand, removing drain plugs, filling the oil, changing the air filters. Additionally, the customer is required to shut off their engine if in fact they're waiting in line to pull into the bay to perform the work. There are 5 parking spaces required and provided for this use. The retail office is over on the eastern side, closer to the daycare. One of the commitments we made in the plan amendment, and it will continue forward, there is a mature tree that's on our property, but right adjacent to, I think it may be on this picture, this one, I can't remember for sure. That will remain and will be part of our landscape buffer. And this retail office, based on, it's a very small, it's 1,800 square feet. It's required to have, I think, 6 parking spaces, and we've provided 9. So there's sufficient parking. Couple of the commitments we made during the plan amendment, the uses are pushed up against 22nd. We are consolidating the entrance to 1. There's currently 2 entrances. Granted, they're entrances to a vacant lot right now, so they're not used a lot, but we are, for purposes of consolidating this development, there will be 1 entry and exit on this site. There is shared access, as I mentioned before. Coal Valley developed the coffee, wine just blanked. Dutch Brothers. My kids would kill me for forgetting that. They love that. So that's still retained and is still part of the development. One of the issues that I know I saw on the protest that came in had to do with environmental, and I just want to touch on that for a minute. The oil is the only hazardous material. That's the oil changing part of it. And the new oil is stored in poly tanks in the interior in the building. And then any used oil is stored in the interior of the building in recessed steel oil tanks, and it's pumped out from the trucks as required. This is all regulated by environmental. There's a company that does all of this. Nothing is stored outside, and there are no fumes associated with the oil and lube process. I think there's other stuff that I can highlight on this plan, but I'm going to just keep going, and then if we want to come back to it, we can. The only other thing I want to point out is the dumpsters are located up against 22nd, and again, that was part of the commitment during the plan amendment. This is the process that we went through. The plan amendment was in 2019. I think you probably have the process memorized. The only other thing I want to point out, we did have a neighborhood meeting, and the only person who came was actually the now owner of the Dutch Brothers property, and just wanted to make sure that this was getting developed the way that the commitments had been made when he purchased the property. And then I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Sylvan. I was going to ask you about the one protest, but you addressed the environmental issue raised by that protest, so thank you for your presentation. Well, would anyone else in the audience like to be heard on this case?
Sure. This is Braden Bernards up with Coal Valley Partners. Thanks for the introduction, Carrie. Just want to make myself available for any questions. We, had on the Dutch Bros and saw this opportunity, in a residential zone lot. We thought this would be an appropriate commercial lot, and have been working diligently for a few years to come up with a thoughtful design that sort of incorporates the neighborhood, but also the traffic volumes and commercial demand on 22nd. So let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. No, I don't have any for you, sir. Anyone else in the audience like to be heard? Hearing no one, I would close the hearing on case C92201, and I hope everyone has a safe and lovely evening. Thank you all for participating. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.